Two men, two microphones, one movie, a couple of beers, and some wildly outlandish critiques about the movies you may or may not love. The following review will have massive spoilers and possibly offensive commentary. This content may not be suitable for little bitches. Brought to you by Goat Straw Entertainment and some liquid courage.
Hey, how's it going, movie lovers? Welcome back to another episode of Not Your Everyday Critics. I'm your host, George Lugo.
And I'm your other host, Manny Rivera.
And if you haven't seen the show before, what we do is break, review, and critique movies of all genres, budgets, everything under the sun.
And as always, these are our perspective, the way we look at movies, because we love movies so damn much. We are movie fans through and through. So take it as you will. You know, some movies are for some people, some movies are, for nobody or whatever.
Movies are subjective, yeah.
They definitely
movies are subjective.
So, but doesn't mean don't give it a chance. Just try it. Try it.
Yeah, and with the estimation of 500,000 movies in all of existence, we have a lot of work to do. So what do you say we knock another one off the list and review today's movie?
Sounds good.
So today we're going to be critiquing Tombstone, the 1993 Western. I am so excited for this one.
I love this movie.
A lot of people do, and for good reason. I mean, this movie is fucking by far one of my favorite Westerns ever.
It is.
And I mean, it has an all-star cast, just to begin with, and
it's got like
they take a fun approach on two of the characters in this movie that most Westerns with those two characters in it don't normally do. So I'm a little excited for this one. So what do you say we jump into the plot summary? A successful lawman's plan to retire anonymously in Tombstone, Arizona are disrupted by the kind of outlaws he was famous for eliminating.
Short and to the point.
Short and to the point.
And this movie definitely is... Oh,
drinks are here.
Hey. Whoa, that's an
interesting one.
That's a weird color. All right.
They kind of came out not as well as I planned, but I carved RIP into the ice.
You carved RIP into the ice?
Yeah, you might have to flip it over or something, but it's there.
It's in there.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I believe it.
I like the little, he has a, like in part of the peel on here, and it's in the shape of like a 6-cylinder. So it has the holes.
It's
pretty cool.
I'm looking in it, and I didn't realize. I'm like, oh, that's fucking awesome.
That's pretty cool.
David, what we got going on here?
So I looked up. Oh shit, is this thing? Yeah, it's plugged in. Okay, it's on. I looked up. A couple of recipes, and there was like one that was called Tombstone, and there was another called Revolver. I kind of just did like a mishmash of that. So just bourbon, a splash of orange juice, and 2 hits of bitters, and this chunk of ice that I try to make into look like a tombstone, but
nice.
And the little revolver, so I call it a Tombstone Revolver.
Tombstone Revolver.
Well,
okay.
It looks fucking awesome. So here we go.
All right, down.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.
So first thing you get is the fragrance of it. You smell like orange, and then when you're like drinking it or whatever, you taste like just like the orange peel. And then you get like the afterburn of it.
It's good.
It's actually not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, it's
not bad
at all.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty good.
I'll take it.
Nice, David.
Thank you.
I feel like making drinks with whiskey is always kind of difficult because whiskey is such a powerful flavor. It's a powerful flavor.
Yeah, it's
always like, I don't want to mix with anything. Fuck you.
Pretty much. Yeah, whiskey's like, you either drink me straight or don't drink me at all kind of shit. But yeah.
Definitely a classy alcohol.
Definitely. All right, so let's jump into our first category, the cast.
Which is an all-star fucking cast, by the way.
Yeah, here we go.
You got a fucking list there.
Yep. Kurt Russell is Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer is Doc Holliday. Sam Elliott is Virgil Earp. Bill Paxton, the late great, is Morgan Earp.
That's right, man. Damn.
Powers Booth is Curly Bill Brocious.
Curly Bill Brocious.
Curly Bill. Michael Biehn is Johnny Ringo. Charlton Heston is Henry Rooker. Jason Priestley is Billy Breckenridge. John Tenney is Behan. Stephen Lang is Ike Clanton. Thomas Hayden Church is Billy Clanton. Dana Delaney is Josephine Marcus. She has one of the most amazing smiles ever. It's awesome. Great smile. Paula Malcolmson is Allie Earp. Lisa Collins, Louisa Earp. Dana Wheeler Nicholson is Maddie Earp. Joanna Piculo, Kate. Michael Rooker, love Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker.
Sherman McMasters. Harry Carey Jr. is Marshall Fred White. Billy Bob Thornton, Johnny Tyler. Thomas Arena is Frank Stillwell. Pat Brady is Milt Joyce. Paul Ben Victor is Florentino. John Philbin is Tom McClary. Robert John Burke is Frank McClary as Robert Burke.
Yeah.
Billy Zane is Mr. Fabian. Wyatt Earp, I believe he's the 4th or 5th.
What?
One of Wyatt Earp's actual descendants is in here.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
He's like one of the... He's named after him and everything.
Oh, wow, that's crazy.
Billy Claiborne. John Corbett is Barnes. Bo Gray is Wes Fuller.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't know that.
Forey J. Smith is Pony Deal. Peter Sheracchio is Texas Jack Vermillion. There's so many characters in here.
There's just so many
that actually
go on in here.
Are in the movie.
Exactly.
Buck Taylor is Turkey Creek Jack Johnson. Terry O'Quinn is the mayor, Mayor John Clum. Charles Schneider is Professor Gilman. Gary Clark is Crawley Dake. Billy Joe Patton is the deputy. Frank Stallone is Ed Bailey. And I think we can stop there because the rest are...
like I said, you got more...
The rest are... After Frank Stallone, they're all kind of like extras.
So okay.
We're going to give our nod to them.
Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thank you. All right. So the cast, holy fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking...
It's a fucking huge cast.
Huge fucking cast.
And they don't hold back. I don't feel like there's anybody in this movie that holds back.
The entire freaking everybody's persona in this movie is so individual from another one, but they're all fucking badasses, and I fucking love them. They're really good at what they do. You know, this cast, I feel like it's a super all-star cast, and it fits them perfectly for this movie. It's fucking cool.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I think we can move on to the intro. So the intro starts with the narration
of Robert Mitchum.
Yeah.
Love
Thank
him.
you. And they're talking about basically the time.
There was a time where the Cowboys were...
They're talking about the Cowboys and just Cowboys in general, and how times are changing, and then like people are going from area to area, and they're looking to make wealth.
Gold. Oh.
And one of the big things at the time was silver. Silver was very big, and that's kind of where silver still is very big. And that's kind of where this whole movie takes place. So this movie takes place in Arizona, but we'll get to that. So after the narration, we get put into a place, I believe it's in Mexico, and there's a wedding happening. And there's a couple that come out of the church, you know, and then there's everyone like outside, and they're like, you know, they're doing their whatever, they're cheering them on. There's a couple's coming out, and then the one guy sets up a bunch of like rifles, like in a pyramid, you know, and the guy comes out, and then we get the actual Cowboys, the ones with the red sashes. They come up, and then Curly shows up. And he's just standing there, and he's got Johnny Ringo standing next to him, and the rest of the Cowboys everywhere. And he pulls out 2 red sashes. He's like, y'all killed 2 Cowboys. And he throws the sashes, and they just stand there for a second. And the Cowboys just start opening fire on everyone. They just start fucking laying everyone out.
Everybody.
Every fucking buddy. Yeah. They don't hit the priests, and they don't hit the newlyweds.
Yeah.
Yet. So... The Curly walks up to the newlyweds. And he's like, He's like, why don't you go to your knees there? And the guy tells his friend to tell him because he doesn't speak Spanish. And the guy tells him to, get on his knees in Spanish. And the guy's like, he won't do it. He's too proud. He's like, someone get this guy on his knees. And then Ike walks up with the fucking shotgun, shoots him right in the knees. Like, it's so fucked up.
It should have just blown off his fucking leg right there.
Yeah.
That close, too. He does like a piss poor translation.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Ringo's like, he's like, your Spanish is fucking just as bad as your English.
He's like, well,
The guy's like, go to hell. And then Curly Joe's like, you first, and then shoots him.
yeah.
I love that. And then, the other cowboys take away the wife. The priest is walking up and he's saying a bunch of shit in Spanish. And the cowboys go to sit down at the feast that was laid out for the wedding. And, dig in, boys. And then Johnny Ringo standing, all the cowboys are sitting, and the priest keeps walking up and he's yelling at them. And then Ringo just pulls out his gun, shoots him, flips it, throws it back in his fucking holster. And then Curly just kind of laughs. And he's like, the guy said was, death will come for you on a white horse, like a white stallion.
Yeah, like hell will follow.
Hell will follow. And I'm like, that's kind of like eerie and awesome.
It's an eerie, ominous thing, like very foreshadowing.
A little foreshadowing right there. And I love, like, Ringo's look. He's just like, he has that killer look.
Yeah.
Really good. I like that. And now we go to Arizona, right? And Wyatt Earp is just getting off of the train, and he steps off, and he's just kind of standing on the station, the walkway there, and then we get a shot of his stud, the stallion, right? And this guy's trying to pull it off the truck, and he hits it with a rope, and before he can hit it again, Wyatt comes up and he catches it. He's like, hey. He's all, hits the guy with it. Hurts, doesn't it? He's like, give me that stud there, and mind you, basically fuck off.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And the guy's just like, okay, like leaves. And so after that, we see Virgil and Morgan, and they're like, oh shit, you guys are here already. Like, they're all meeting up, and they're gonna go try and make their fortune in Tombstone, Arizona. And, they have a little introduction with the wives and whatnot. And they kind of just have this really cool scene, right, where they stand in front of the glass at the radio station, at the train station. And it's a really cool shot, like from the back, but you see the reflection in the glass. It's a pretty cool shot. And they're like, no, just take it in. Cool. And then they kind of walk off. And we get a little bit about Maddie right here, because she tells Wyatt, like right when they get there, she's like, oh, I couldn't find my medicine at the store.
A lot of them, yeah.
Yeah. And he doesn't really acknowledge it. He kind of just doesn't say anything.
Women and their headaches.
And she ends up saying, she needs it for her headache from one of the other wives, and they give it to her. And they kind of just mosey on into Tombstone. Now we get introduced to the next character, and he's playing cards, and there's a whole bunch of shit on the table. So they show a shot of the table, and there's like money and chips and rings and papers on there, probably deeds. I don't know.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, because you didn't just need poker chips to gamble. Then with whatever had like monetary value played.
Golden tooth,
right? So he's sitting there playing, and the guy's like, "You gonna call?" And it's Doc Holliday. He's sitting there. And I love his like cadence. Like, he really takes on that persona really well. You know, he did. He went through a lot of training for that. We'll get into that. But the guy that's hassling him about it, he's like, hurry up and like call already. And he's like, oh, he's like, well, I thought we were friends, And he's like, what? Are you cross? Like, points at his guns. You cross? He's like, those guns don't scare me. He's like, okay. And he pulls, well, hold on. No, he wins the money first, and then he pulls the guns out, puts them on the table.
He's like, there. Now we're friends again.
And then the guy kind of like lunges at him, and then Doc Holliday grabs him, pulls a knife out of his waist, and then stabs him. Yeah. It looks kind of like in between the ribs. I'm not entirely sure. And then just that's it. Like he fucking stabs him and just like leaves him there. And then his mistress is standing by the bar, and the barkeep's gonna pull a shotgun. She's like, "Don't you fucking pull that."
Yeah.
And so like she walks over, clears the table of all the money and all the fucking jewelry and everything. He's like, "I think that's it for this town then." She's like, "Oh," she's like, I already had the busboy get the luggage. He's like, "Okay, cool." So
well, before he leaves though, he reaches over to the others.
Yeah, on the way out, they walk towards the door, and there's another table playing, and he reaches and just grabs that money. He's like,
grabs that money.
And he's like, "All right, thank you very much," and like leaves. And then he goes outside with his mistress, and they're about to get on the horse. And he's like, "Forget the luggage, let's just go." Jump on their horse, and then they're out of there. So that's like the first 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to the villains, right? We get introduced to the Cowboys, the ones with the sashes. They're a gigantic group.
Yeah.
Like roughly 100 men.
100 strong, yeah, something like that.
And then we get introduced to the heroes of the movie, which is Wyatt Earp, Morgan Earp, Virgil Earp, and then Doc Holliday.
Yeah, the brothers, and Doc Holliday.
Yeah. And it's a very good introduction actually for all of them, because you get to see the Earps, and they're kind of like, or Wyatt Earp is that's technically a retired lawman, so he doesn't even carry a gun at the time, but he's still stern.
Yeah.
And he shows that, like when they're the guy's like whipping the horse, he's like, "Knock that shit off." It's not okay.
You get to see their mannerisms. You get to see their persona, who they actually are, besides what it is this movie entails and everything.
Yeah.
But they don't really change too much of who they are. They're just complete badasses is all that it is.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Especially Doc Holliday, because he's a man that like he lives every day to the fullest.
Yeah.
Because he's short on time.
Yeah. Tuberculosis.
So I think we can move on to
fighting. Kevin Jarr, I believe it is.
He's got 12 credits to his name. So basically all the Rambos.
Yeah.
Like all the Rambos. The Tracker, Glory, and then Tombstone. So I mean, he's got a pretty good amount of movies under his belt, including movies afterwards. He's done some incredible movies: The Devil's Own, The Mummy.
Oh, what?
Yeah, Mummy Returns.
He would have definitely had more if he was still alive.
Yeah, if he was still alive.
Oh, sure. He died April 3rd, 2011.
Yeah, he did.
Sorry, buddy.
Sorry.
You got some good films, though.
Yeah.
So I could have definitely seen...
To be honest, I feel like he's a better writer than a director. So
he was an actor, too, I believe. He did a little bit of acting. I don't know what else that he was in or whatever, but yeah, it just sucks that,
people die, Manny. People die.
But yeah, that's
okay. That's the writing, and like we don't need to go too far into it, because the writing is definitely great. But I feel like the actors they take the writing and they basically make it come to life.
They made it very organic, and it came to life for sure. And I think it flowed so easily and so well. Like it's so easy to follow along with this movie. Like what's going on?
Yeah. I think we can move on to direction.
So this was directed by George P.
It was first directed by Kevin Jarr. Kevin Jarr started directing this film. So Kevin Jarr started directing this film, and he actually wanted to make this film kind of like an old school Western, where there was a lot of like wide panoramic single shots, like the very old like Westerns.
Yeah.
And he basically fought everybody on this. He fought the cast, he fought the production, and it was basically his way or the highway. And actually a lot of the footage that he shot, they almost used none of it.
They took it out of the movie, huh?
Almost all of it. Wow. Almost all of it. So some of the shots are still in there, but they ended up having, he was so hard to work with, and they wanted better results, because they started the movie in early 93, and they wanted the movie released the end of 93. Yeah. So imagine having to shoot post-production all in 1 year. That's fucking crazy. And also advertising and stuff, and that's fucking insane. So I mean, that's pretty intense.
That's a lot.
So they ended up kicking him off the project, and that's when what's his name? George
Pancosmatos.
Yeah, George Pancosmatos. So they brought him on, But he was more like a consultant. So what happened was
he was more of like the front guy. Like,
the front guy, the face. Really he was the face.
But who really directed this was Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, 100%. Because he basically took the lead on because he felt like the project needed more leadership, and Jar kind of fucked that whole thing up. Yeah. But he saw the project and he's like, there's a lot of potential here, basically. So he even sacrificed his own dialogue, I think more than 2 pages worth, to give everyone time to everyone else and let their character shine in.
Which I find very admirable.
That's very admirable.
That's really cool. Snake Plissken, thank you.
He's such a good freaking guy.
Yeah, dude, he's so cool.
Such a good freaking guy.
I love him. They brought in George as basically the front runner.
But if you're wondering why is it not Kurt Russell not credited on IMDb, they made a pact. He's like, I won't say anything.
Yeah, until after you die, basically.
So when George passed away, that's when Kurt Russell, obviously, people saying that he made the claim. He was just stating the fucking
He's
truth.
just stating it. And then
everybody in the cast was like, yes.
They basically vouched for it. Even Val Kilmer did too. He vouched for it. He's like, no, it's like George was just basically the front runner, but Kurt did everything.
Yeah.
He basically directed the entire movie.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Thank you, Kurt. You fucking killed this movie.
But as far as George goes, he's got a couple movies under his belt. He directed Sin, Massacre in Rome, The Cassandra Crossing, Escape to Athena, Of Known Origin, Rambo, First Blood Part 2, Cobra, Leviathan, Tombstone, and then Shadow Conspiracy.
Sweet.
So he's actually got a few films in here, which is pretty cool.
He's got a couple movies under his belt.
A couple
movies under his belt.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay, so let's go to soundtrack and score music was composed by Bruce Broughton. He has 133 credits. He does a lot of original music. We'll thumb through a few. So he's done other westerns also. He did Gunsmoke, 3 on the Road, Spencer's Pilots, Logan's Run, How the West Was Run, How the West Was Won, The Runaways.
Yeah.
Tons of stuff. Lots of TV shows too. It looks like he also did Tales from the Crypt.
Nice.
Just a ton of shit. I'm trying to thumb through this, and there's a fuck ton of stuff.
So apparently he's got quite a few. I mean, if you don't know him, you probably heard of his shit.
You probably heard of his stuff.
Some of the things that are out there already.
He helped do music for Smooth Criminal, the music video, looks like.
Smooth Criminal.
Ooh, Moonwalker. He helped compose the music for Moonwalker.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, he's definitely got a lot of credits to his name. So.
Yeah. And I like the music in here because it's not like over the top, but I felt like it set the tone perfect. They captured the Wild West, and I really, really felt on point.
The music in this movie does sure.
It did portray that ominous feeling. That's exactly, the whole kind of ordeal.
Yeah. It's a great feeling of the music. It's like it makes you feel happy when they first arrive into town, and when they're like shit's going down, you're like, oh fuck. Like the music definitely it sets the tone and it makes the audience feel what they're trying to convey, and it works.
Yeah, he did a great job of creating music that would capture your emotions.
Yeah.
I mean that's what that's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to fucking do that, Yeah.
So that's definitely a good job on that, my dude.
Yeah. Nailed it. So I think we can move on to our next category. Wardrobe.
Dude, these guys look fucking amazing.
So a lot of work went into this. So Joseph A. Porro was the costume designer,
right?
And I guess I was listening to some interviews, and I guess they found like this consultant that basically they wanted as something as realistic as possible for the times, because they didn't want that they didn't want to take
historical inaccuracies kind of thing.
They wanted to be definitely more accurate, and like a lot of the footage and clips and pictures that were taken for that time, it was all it's all black and white, everything's drab, it doesn't, and it's like, well, that doesn't seem, we don't want it to be like that. We want it to be just accurate in general.
Right.
So they went to historians, and they went and they found third parties to figure this out, and they found, I forgot the name of the company, but they found this company who were the consultants, and they basically had authentic clothing for that.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and a lot of them. Wow. So they ended up hiring that company, right? And they brought them on the show or on the movie on set. And a lot of them, they had their own equipment. They had their own horses. They had their own saddles. Some of the saddles they used were even from that time frame.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's crazy. Fucking insane.
So a lot of the wardrobe and everything they had was all original stuff.
Some of it. A lot of it was recreations, but like a lot of the equipment that they used, even all the way down to the guns. Wow. So the guns were actually accurate.
I gotta tell you, Doc Holliday's guns are probably like my favorite guns, man.
Yeah, those are ivory handles.
The ivory handles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah, but all those guns are accurate. Those are actually not the guns, obviously, but the replicas, like to the T. Like they did a great job making all that stuff. That's an amazing job. Yeah, they did a lot of work. Amazing job. They did a lot. I feel like they did more work than a lot of movies would do on making this movie kind of like accurate in that way. You know?
That's true.
So it's pretty awesome. You know, I'm glad that they took that extra step, because that kind of made this movie definitely feel a little bit more realistic and more detailed.
Yeah. And their look, it fits them so well. Their wardrobe, each individual, what they were wearing, it fits them so well. I love Doc Holliday's hat. It's so fucking.
Well, he's like a son of like an aristocrat. So he's like a high end like aristocrat from, I think it was Georgia. I think it was where he was born.
And yes, I think it was
Georgia, right?
Yeah.
And that's also part of the reason his dialect was like,
it's like that southern drawl.
Yeah, it's got that southern drawl to it. Yeah, so they were really on point, and they really they really wanted that accuracy, and I really appreciate it, because whenever you watch a Western, it's kind of like the same shit, you know. It's like, they have the chaps.
This town ain't big enough for the two of us.
Yeah, they're wearing like fucking just like a white shirt and a vest, and it's like, did everybody dress that way? I feel like that's not accurate.
Right?
You know? They were talking about like some of the people, like them, they would try, and if you had money, you would flaunt it. That's like a big thing, kind of like now, but like it's just interesting because they would wear like brightly colored shirts, like silk or whatever. Like sashes were a big thing. Yeah.
The bad guy, what's his name again?
Powers Booth?
No.
Oh, Curly
Bill. So you know what? His outfit almost reminds me of like a miner back in the day. He has that miner look. But I like that his slacks had like cards, like
his little chaps.
His little chaps.
They had the aces on them,
like the aces or whatever.
It's cool shit. It's cool shit.
It kind of reminded me of how Lemmy used to dress.
It's like a thug, a thug look from the Western times and shit. That's what he's got. He's got his bent hat, red, just fucking. Yeah. It was definitely you automatically know like he's a bad guy.
Yeah,
just by that in particularly, but he had his look about him too that fits pretty well.
Yeah, it's good. I think we can move on. Shootouts and gunslinging. So obviously we can't not talk about, the OK Corral, because that's not just like one of the biggest scenes in this movie. That's like a historical event.
It's like the main event in this movie.
Yeah.
It's like a historical event. I mean, that really happened.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
The OK Corral was a very intense scene, and actually it's apparently that fight actually was very one-sided. So I guess when it really happened, when they went there, they did go there with the intent of killing everybody.
Wow.
They really went there with the intent of killing everybody. And you know that scene where the county sheriff comes, he's like, I disarmed them?
Yeah.
Apparently that really happened. So that's also accurate. And they kind of blow them off, and they're like, okay.
Like, fuck you. So
they're going. So I guess when he got there, when the four of them got there, only 2 of the Cowboys had pistols. So they were outgunned. And they just basically mowed them down. And that's kind of what set all the chain of events into motion.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fucking intense.
It's
a really good scene.
Super intense. It's definitely a great that atmosphere alone with the entire situation, because they're trying to, I guess not trying to be, but they think that they are the badasses of the group, not knowing who they're actually talking to when they're in this fucking town. And it's just like going up against,
Well, it's easy to be like a thug when you have 100 men, and you can.
It's like that mob mentality.
Yeah, the mob mentality. But when you're outclassed, it's a whole different thing.
Yeah, because now you're a thug with 5 or 6 men, but they know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, Doc Holliday could easily shoot like 6 men before any one of them could pull the gun out.
Doc Holliday was considered the fastest gunslinger, I believe.
I don't know if he was the fastest, but he was one of the fastest. Sure. Yes.
Okay. I remember hearing about that too.
Yeah.
I heard Wyatt Earp was also a fast gunslinger.
Not as fast as
Doc Holliday. But yeah, these the shootouts in these freaking scenes, and I gotta tell you, like my favorite character is Doc Holliday.
Yeah,
I feel like Val Kilmer definitely stole the show because he put so much effort into that role.
He did.
So he
did.
Well, because the woman who wrote Gone with the Wind was actually cousins with Doc Holliday.
Oh, really?
And so the character Rex Butler in Gone with the Wind, Clark Gable's character, that's who it's based off of. Was Doc Holliday. And so he kind of took that and just ran with it, and that's how he got this character of Doc Holliday in the movie.
So that's pretty cool.
He did a lot of work. We'll get to that in performance.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
Yeah, but one of my favorite gunslinging moments here is, I guess, Wyatt asked Doc, if I can beat him, and Holliday straight out says no.
Not even hesitating. Nope.
Not even hesitating.
Nope.
Just
sorry,
he's told him the truth.
You're not good. Gunslinger.
And then you see Doc. He's like in another like he's dying, man. Of what he's doing, and
he's got tuberculosis. He's dying.
He gives him his marshal's badge and everything like that, And then they go out to like a spring or whatever, and the bad guy is actually expecting Wyatt to show up. Lo and behold, it's actually Doc Holliday.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Surprise, motherfucker!
And you could automatically
I'll be your Huckleberry.
I'll be your Huckleberry. But you could automatically see the fear in.
He was terrified.
He's like, in the bad guy's eyes.
He was fucking terrified.
He knew that it doesn't matter how sick this fucking guy is. He knew that, and he was gonna try his best.
Well, he was scared because he knows that Doc Holliday is dying. Everyone knows it.
Yeah.
That's why they keep calling him Lunger.
Yeah.
But he knows, of his, his fucking pistol prowess, basically. Mm-hmm. He knows how talented he is with the fucking gun, how fast he is.
Yeah.
But he is sick. So there's a little bit of hope for Ringo.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's also terrified because he knows that at one point in time, Doc Holliday was a fucking monster.
Yes, he is.
And I think at that moment, he knows because like if a dying man is going to come and kill you, like he's got nothing to lose.
Nothing to lose.
It's like either I die now or I'm going to die later. I don't give a shit. So
during their draw, Doc automatically knew what was going to happen because you see Doc actually bend this way first as he takes his gun out to shoot, and then puts it back in, and then you got that slide while he's smoking. Oh, what's going on, baby? And everything like that. That kind of
the little dance.
You're not a daisy.
You're not a daisy.
Not a daisy at all.
He just watches him go down. You see that bullet in his head and everything like that. Oh, such a great scene. I love that one so much. That's one of my favorite ones.
That's a fucking great scene. That's a great scene.
It's so good.
I think I like when Ringo is showing off. This is more like gunslinging.
Yeah.
So Ringo's showing off and in the card hall. And he's like fucking just fucking slinging his gun. And then Doc's just like pulls his cup.
Starts flinging
it around, and he fucking puts it in his holster. And they just laugh and they leave. Like, it's a great way to diffuse the tension.
Yes,
it was because it would have got crazy in there.
Oh, for sure.
I think they were outnumbered because all the Cowboys were there.
Yeah,
and it was just Virgil, Morgan, Wyatt, and Doc there, and that's two close quarters, I think. So I think diffusing the situation was...
And a lot of innocent bystanders, too. So
that's definitely something that we're trying to avoid.
I think we can move on to our next category then. So we have robberies and holdups. So there's not... There's actually not a lot of those in here.
No, there really isn't. I mean, if you want to talk about in the beginning of the freaking movie where Doc wins the freaking thing, but then just
taking the steals... That's not a holdup, though.
No. You're talking about robberies.
Yeah, I guess he takes the winnings off the other table.
Winnings and just fucking leaves. You know what I mean? So, and thank you for your business and have a good day. And basically, it just fucking splits.
Yeah.
But I mean, I as far as holdup goes,
there's not many.
There isn't.
So
there really isn't.
I don't think there's any actually. I'm trying to think.
if you talk about the beginning of the movie while they're shooting up those people where they're getting married,
I guess that's the only holdup.
Yeah,
it's kind of not even really a holdup.
Like a gun down. Fucking.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a gun down, but he's giving him a speech prior.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't shoot them like right away.
But
he
didn't
shoots
take
people
anything
around.
from them other than their lives.
The wife, the food. They took away their happiness in marriage.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, I guess you can kind of count it as a holdup because he didn't kill him automatically. You know, he fucking taunted him a little bit, but he took everything from him. So it was to me, I think that was kind of a holdup. But that was like the only situation in the movie.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, I didn't really capture anything else in movie because everything else just turned to be like political. You know what I mean? So I not too much of it, but still exciting. Still good. Let's go ahead and just skip that one because we can't think about it too much.
Yeah, let's move on to our next one.
Framework.
Ooh, boy, there's a lot.
Oh shit.
There is a lot in this movie that I like. One of my favorites is when they're actually walking to the OK Corral.
Yeah, that's
and they walk into frame, and there's a fucking building on fire.
Yeah,
and they walk up, and as they walk towards the camera, it kind of gets panned, and the fire's directly behind them. I've always loved that fucking shot. It's a cool shot. It's a great shot.
For me, I think I like the shot where I believe Doc Holliday has the rifle. You see him in his white shirt. It's supposed to be like a kind of...
It's gray. It's a gray shirt, I think.
Yeah, like a vest.
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
And
gray shirt.
And he's got the shotgun, and he's walking towards the camera as he's doing this.
I think I like just before that when he's walking up, and then he takes the jacket off. Like, because he doesn't wear the jacket.
No, he just wears it around his shoulders.
Puts it on his shoulders.
Yeah, he puts it on his
what he does,
shoulders.
he shoulders it off, and he brings the shotgun up. I'm like, oh shit, he means business.
Exactly. So, yeah, I'll do it as far as that. So when he takes it off and he's just coming towards the camera and he's shooting,
it's
and these people are hiding behind a fucking horse. He tries to make the horse jump, and then like that's actually a pretty cool fucking moment for me. Like fucking cowards, man. You're hiding behind a horse. God damn it.
I think a lot of what I like is the sort of montage scenes of when they're chasing down the Cowboys later in the film.
Yeah, there's a lot of good
that
ones.
Camera work on the horseback and stuff like that, being able to see them how they're holding their weapons sort of across the saddle.
Yeah.
And like, okay, like, riding and shit like that, and they turn around and shoot, or they fucking, just that whole setup of like how they're hunting down these cowboys and shit like that. I love the camera work for that because that's a lot of work, man.
It is a lot of
work.
And, it's definitely something to appreciate because they did have a lot of time to work on this.
Yeah. Like, dude on horseback and having to do these fucking crazy shit.
Like day in, day out for doing what they were doing. So, kudos to you. That shit might have not have been easy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
good work
there's a lot of good framework in there. That's one of my favorite ones. I mean, this movie definitely has certain scenes in it where you're like, holy shit, you can't believe it sometimes,
Yeah,
but yeah,
100%.
Let's go on to performance.
Jesus Christ.
Everybody?
I feel like everyone has a great performance. I mean, obviously, Val Kilmer's Doc Holliday stands above the rest, I believe.
Right.
I believe it would be Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday, Kurt Russell as Wyatt Earp. And then I would probably go Curly Bill.
Really?
Booth, yeah.
Next. And then I would probably go Virgil and then Ringo.
I'll agree with that order.
You think so?
I think so.
If we're talking about the levels of performance,
yeah,
Val Kilmer definitely steals the movie. That's the reason. That's the reason. Like when you think about quotable lines from this movie, almost all of them are Doc Holliday.
Pretty much. Yeah,
they're not Kurt Russell. They're not Virgil.
No,
they're not. I don't know. They're not Curly Bill.
Yeah,
they're not fucking
I
Ringo.
agree that Doc Holliday would be up top.
He stole the fucking show.
Yeah, I agree that Doc Holliday should be up top.
Yeah.
Then would be Wyatt Earp. But I almost would put Virgil next.
I don't think so because like his character is, for one, not in the movie nearly as much as everyone else.
I guess you're right.
And I like his character. I'm not saying I don't like his character. I love like everything that he stands for. He's a righteous man, like I understand like he's in that town and he's trying to make money there, and like he gets upset because, you know, the town's overrun by fucking criminals and people are afraid. And he's like, I need to step the fuck up. And I like that quality.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's not a lawman for long. He gets fucking injured and just, he's out and just like, we don't get to see too much performance out of him.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. I'll agree with that then. I do like Virgil. But
no, I mean, who doesn't like Sam Elliott?
Yeah, I think
he's amazing. Dude. He's fucking cool as shit.
It's cool as shit.
I love Sam Elliott's mustache. Let me tell you. No, I agree with that. As far as performance goes, everybody in that category that you gave him, yeah, for sure. Definitely Val Kilmer stole the show, 100%. That guy made that movie, I feel. You know what I mean? If it wasn't for him and him being that character, I don't know, this might have gone a completely different direction.
You know what's crazy? I know I didn't bring this up during the cast, but you know who was supposed to play Doc Holliday? Val Kilmer wasn't the first.
Was it Robert Mitchum?
Was it?
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, that's right.
Willem Dafoe was supposed to be Doc Holliday.
Huh?
Willem Dafoe was supposed to play Doc Holliday, and I heard that, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh wow!
We're coming for you.
Yeah, he would have been weird.
I have no idea how this movie would have turned out.
Should that have been? I kind of understand why they would pick Willem Dafoe because he's a great actor for one, and he looks like he's dying already. So like, they don't have to.
Such a dick.
Wait, do you know why they didn't choose him?
Dick.
Huh? You know why they didn't choose him?
I just think it was just maybe a scheduling issue.
There was a big
much
controversy
information
with the film. The last film that he did, The Last Temptation of Christ, which was a Martin Scorsese film where he played Jesus Christ. There was like a huge controversy about it, and so they didn't want to have that stigma being a part of the film. So they're like, let's not go with him. Yeah.
Oh, that's a bummer. Well, I'm glad it didn't work out that way because I'm just thinking about like all the lines that Doc Holliday had, but
flat.
in Willem Dafoe's voice.
Yeah.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Right? I'll be your Huckleberry.
I too am something of a Huckleberry myself.
Yeah, that's crazy. I had no idea. That's definitely crazy. Wow. That's cool to know. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, as far as everybody else's performance in the movie, everybody did a splendid job.
I think we can't praise the acting enough in here. I mean, I feel like they did a great job. There's a reason this movie is so loved.
Yeah,
even to
though
this
we put
day.
them in a category, they all did phenomenal.
Oh yeah, because the movie wouldn't work without all of them working off each other. Yeah. Obviously Val Kilmer, like I said, he did a lot of work just for this. Like he went and he found like a speech, not like a therapist, but like a guy for accents,
a voice coach or something.
A voice coach, but like apparently he said it was like the best guy like at the time, like in the world. I can't remember his name. Tim. It was Tim Rocco or something. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name. Yeah. But he asked him. He's like, "Hey, I'm looking for an accent for Doc Holliday, like the Georgian aristocrat." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And like gave him that information. That's when Val Kilmer also like dug deep. Like he's a method actor,
Yeah, for sure.
So he really dug deep and he fucking fell into that lifestyle for a long period of time just to kind of get a feel for it. That's why the character feels so natural.
Mm. And that's why
he's a Juilliard trained fucking actor.
I didn't know that.
When he was the youngest person to be accepted, I think, into that program. I think he was like 17 or something.
Wow.
Oh, Juilliard, 17. That's crazy. Yeah, when they learn how to do their voices and everything, they try to keep it like every day. That way, it's just natural.
It's crazy the amount of voices that he could do. Like I was watching a bunch of random tapes. I actually also watched Val because you get a chance. Watch Val. Val's outstanding. You get to see a lot of his actual performances and his tapes and whatnot that he would practice.
Right.
He has such a wide range. It's like it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I mean, he did his own singing in the Doors movie.
Yeah. He had to fight for that. They didn't want him to do that. Yeah. They wanted him just to.
He was like, "Look, this is me fucking singing." Like he freaked out Oliver Stone. Yeah. He was playing Doors tapes, and he's like, guess who's singing? He's like, "Oh, that's Jim Morrison."
That's
like,
fucking
no,
me.
That's me, bitch. Give me the goddamn role.
Give me the goddamn role. Yeah. So apparently that's why people always said he was hard to work with on set, but it's because he was passionate. Yeah. He's not looking just for a paycheck, because when you make a movie, it's forever. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's something that lasts, and he wants to be perfect, and that's why when he puts himself into these roles, kind of really does outshine a lot of the people he works with.
Yeah, it goes to show like his ability and his performance in this movie just like George just said, like, it really outshines everybody else, and it's a staple. When you watch this movie, you're like, holy shit, it's gonna last forever, that performance. And you're right, he does know that, and that's why he wants everything to be perfect and not fuck up anywhere along the lines.
Yeah, it's not being like conceited or anything. You're just passionate about what it is you do. So you're gonna give it your all. I mean, you might outshine people, but I mean, it's not your fault. You're putting in the work. You know what I mean? So
like, as long as you're putting in the work and giving it your best performance, then that's all that matters. Other actors are only can do what they're gonna do. You can't force them to do anything.
Yeah, we all agree on the performances there. I think
everybody's.
I think we can move on.
Definitely great. So let's move on to the next category, which is
budget.
Budget. Oh my goodness.
What do you got for us this week, Manny?
Wow.
I remember hearing about this and I totally forgot.
Okay,
so you fucking forgot.
You didn't fuck this up, did you?
Oh no, I didn't fuck this up at all. What do you guys think the budget is? We'll start with you, George.
Okay, budget for this movie.
Yep. Think about everything that went into this movie.
I'm thinking. They filmed this movie not too far from the original Tombstone in Arizona.
That's right. Yeah.
I believe they built a town.
I think they did.
I think they built that town that they lived in, or that they shot in. Plus the actors, the training, the wardrobe. Yeah, they put a lot of work into that room that Wyatt Earp worked in, that one saloon.
Yes,
all that was like,
it was all custom.
It was all custom. But everything was to the T for that era. Yep. Like they have literal
literal to the stitching. Everything was to the
most
T.
detail went into that room.
So that being said, with everything that you now know, what do you think the budget was for the movie?
I want to say it was probably at least 43 mil.
43. Okay. David?
For a 1990s movie, 43 mil?
93.
I want to go with the budget had to be 70 mil.
70.
Yeah, that's high.
That's really high, my dude.
It's pretty high.
Okay. Well, it's actually a little bit lower than that. It's actually 25 million.
Really?
What?
Yeah. So
holy shit.
The budget that went into this movie was actually 25 million.
No fucking way.
Damn.
Yeah. 25 million.
Damn.
25 million was the budget.
Weird.
It's actually surprised the hell out of me when I was looking at it. I'm like, no, that's probably not right. Let me do my homework some more and everything. But no,
25 million.
25 million went into the production of this movie. That was the whole budget of everything that went on.
Fuck.
Wow. Yeah.
Damn, man. They used that money well.
They used it.
They used that money well.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? It was
the
movie came out
amazing.
So phenomenal. It was just so
wow. And also for the actors on top of that.
Yeah.
I wonder if they got residuals or something.
Probably. They probably did
royalties or something.
Royalties.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they probably did. How much do you think this movie made?
I think it made a lot.
So keep in mind, now you guys know the budget.
Yeah.
$25 million.
I'm going to go with 185 mil.
185?
Yeah.
We're talking domestic?
We're just going box office.
Box office.
Okay.
Box office.
Are you doing box office? Is that your number box office
My
global?
number is only box office only.
Is it
opening
global?
weekend?
Is it global?
No,
or
not global.
Domestic.
Global.
Okay. I'll still hold at 185. Domestic box office.
Domestic box office.
Okay.
So the box office, that means the run of the
whole
movie.
Run of the movie. Okay. And what did you guess, George?
185.
I'll go with 120 mil.
120?
Yeah.
Okay. This movie actually made 73.2 million.
Oh, that's a disappointment.
Wow.
I mean, it's you would say a disappointment, but it really isn't. I mean, they shot
It's three times. It's 3 times the value for sure.
You know? But for what you're thinking,
yeah,
I'm thinking, yeah,
because this movie's You have to imagine this movie came out at the same time Wyatt Earp came out.
It did, yes.
It came out at the same time.
But remember, this was just the
and
box
it blew
office.
Wyatt Earp out of the wall. It destroyed them.
Yeah,
Like,
it did.
so-
Because it was way more. There was way more like affection like between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday in this movie. And people like that. They like that feel.
A lot of people don't even know that Wyatt Earp, the movie, exists with Kevin Costner. They're like, what the fuck? And then you realize it came out at the same time as Tombstone. You're like, oh, that makes sense. It's got fucking just completely overshadowed. Yeah, big time.
Overshadowed. It's 3 times. They made money back.
For sure.
They made money back.
Yeah.
You know,
They did. They made a lot.
so
of
that's
money,
good.
You know,
Yeah,
That's
can't
good.
complain
I
about
was,
that.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like that's a fucking amazing film. I wanted that movie to make a fuck ton more. You know,
Yeah, I wish
Yeah.
it did, but
you know.
but I mean, if you made 3 times, I mean that's fine. That's
I
really
mean,
good.
this movie is still great and it holds up even to this day.
Fuck yeah.
But I mean, like, is it considered like a cult classic? Would you say?
I wouldn't say it would be considered a
I
cult
don't think a
classic. I think it
cult
would just be,
classic.
you know, just a
I don't know, man. A lot of people still haven't even seen this movie though.
really.
I just not a lot. It's not westerns are not really.
I guess yeah.
they're
It's not a
even today. There's still like a niche market for it still.
yeah.
As much as they try and push westerns out because they were so successful in the 50s and the 60s and stuff like that,
Yeah,
people just got like tired of it, you know. And
that's true. You ever seen 310 to Yuma?
oh yeah, fuck yeah. It's a
The
great movie,
remake,
dude.
not the original.
The remake, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Fucking love that one.
I mean, fuck, look at the Hateful Eight.
Again, like the western genre, they
True
try to push
Grit?
it out. True Grit. I've only seen bits and pieces of that. I need to
Or
watch
not
that.
LaBeef. Some good movies there.
Yeah, I know. I mean, there's a lot of great movies in the western genre, but just a lot of people just are not really all.
I
that
mean,
into it.
fucking serious. The
73
Duke.
73.2.
You know the fucking Duke.
Yeah,
Kidding me? Clint Eastwood.
Look,
Look, that's
the movie.
That's still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money.
They
I
still
mean,
made way over what they fucking put into it. That's good.
and this is just the box office. This is not even considering what it made
globally.
overall,
Globally, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Plus all the extras, you know, like sales.
You
like
guys are probably, when you guys guessed 180 or 130, it probably did like 200 to 300 million or whatever, worldwide or whatever.
yeah, but I
just
think we're
because-
sticking to box office now.
Yeah, box office only.
So from now on, it's just box office.
it's
domestic.
just box office.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So $73.2 million.
That's still pretty fucking good. Let's move on to the outro.
Yeah.
Here we got Wyatt and Doc Holliday, and Doc Holliday is now bedridden at Hooker's ranch, and this is where Wyatt goes, "I can't beat him, can I?" He goes, "Nope." And then he's like, "Fuck!" And then Wyatt's like, "What's it like to wear one of those?"
Doc says that. He's like, "What's it like to wear one of
Doc
those?"
says that.
Or
not
Doc
Wyatt.
says that. I'm sorry. Doc says, "What's it like to wear one of those?" And then Wyatt just kind of like pulls it off and gives it to him, and then kind of like trudges off. Like he's kind of like somber at this moment because he knows he's going to die.
Yeah, like he knows his best friend's like gonna die.
His best friend's gonna die, and then he's gonna die. You know, his dog's gonna die. Everyone's dying.
That's all you did in the West was just die
You want to come with me? Let's go.
and die.
So Wyatt takes on. Wyatt's about to leave. Hooker's all like, who's played by Charlton Heston. He's like, if they want to get him, they have to go through us.
Real quick, I'm not gonna lie. When I first, because I haven't seen this movie all the way through until a couple weeks ago,
Uh-huh.
I honestly thought that was Ricardo Montalban.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, my beloved wife. Like, and then I realized it was Charlton Heston. I was like, fuck, he's playing a Mexican again.
right. I can see that. But no, it's Charlton Heston. Yeah. Get your damn dirty hands off me,
You filthy ape.
you filthy ape. But yeah. So he tells him, they're gonna have to go through us. He's like, cool. They shake hands and whatnot. He takes off. He goes to the fucking what's it, the waterfall or whatever.
Little location.
Yeah,
that
he
we
goes to the
meet.
location where they meet.
Yeah.
There's a couple cowboys there. They're like, he's up there down by the big oak tree. And so Wyatt says, goodbye to his 2 little friends there. And he's like, if I don't make it back, just try and get out of here without dying, basically.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, I don't have the words. And Wyatt's like, yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
It's like they don't know what to say, like there's everything. Everything's looking grim right here,
Yep.
Everything's looking grim. Like everything, they were fighting and killing off a bunch of cowboys, and like now that
Fucking riding high. Woo.
yeah, now everything is kind of, the tables have turned, and like the cowboys are kind of at an advantage right here. And now we see Ringo. So Johnny Ringo is kind of like, it's like a wide shot here, and he's just standing in the middle of the frame, and he's pacing. And then he looks over and he sees like a dark shadowy figure walk up. He's like, "Whew, I didn't think you'd show."
And it's nice the lighting.
And
of
then
this, too.
it goes from dark, and then like it lights up, and it's fucking Doc Holliday.
he
He's
emerges
smoking.
and
He's like,
smoking.
he's like, "I'm your Huckleberry."
Yeah. And then he's like, oh.
And then fucking Ringo's like, "Oh fuck, like he's all, you can see the fear immediately. He's like, my fight ain't with you. You know, and he's like, well, we started something, you know, like we're going to finish it basically. Yep. You know, that's the whole I'm your Huckleberry thing. That's kind of what that means, you know. He's like, I was just playing. I was just playing with that night in the bar, and Doc was like, I wasn't. He's like, all right, Lunger, let's do this. So they get close, and so
they do this dance.
Now they're doing the dance, and then
just circling.
Fucking Holiday's still smoking a cigarette, and he's got his hand off to his side, just right by his gun. Mm-hmm. Ringo's ready, right? He's all, say when. Love that so much. Yeah. And then you hear I think this is where Ringo fucked up, is he cocked the gun first, like he pulled the hammer back. And then that's when fucking Doc Holliday fucking turned a little bit, just enough to get out of line of sight, and then pull his gun up and shoot him. I feel like if he would have pulled the gun out and then tried to shoot, like he would have had a better chance, but he wanted to be faster on the draw, so he pulled the hammer back.
Just by the way, the scene on this, when they get close up to them and their eyes and you see them sweat and everything like that, it's so
intense.
It's
like
so
like a classic
intense.
Sergio Leone.
It's so, like,
it's so intense.
You see like the flaring of the nostril, you know, their mouth, whatever, and all. It's just so fucking crazy.
I mean, it's a throwback to the '60s westerns with Sergio Leone, like he's telling the movie from the gun and the eyes and shit, you know.
Yeah. No, but that's definitely intense.
So Ringo cocks the gun and he goes to pull, and then Holliday fucking pulls the gun out, bam, shoots him in the head, and then spins it, puts it back in his holster.
Yep.
And then Ringo's like, and he's like, he takes like 4 steps forward, and his pistol goes off. He's like, He's like, you ain't no Daisy. You ain't no Daisy at all.
Yep.
Just a little poor lost soul. That's great.
That's awesome.
And that's literally when Wyatt comes running through the trees. He's holding his gun, and he sees Doc Holliday there, and you know Doc Holliday threw the Marshal badge on Ringo. Fucking Wyatt's all like, huh. He's like, he's like, my hypocrisy only goes so far. So he put the Marshal badge on Ringo.
He's like, where's your bed? I'm like,
so basically, Holliday looks at Wyatt, and Wyatt's all like, hey, want to go clean things up? I'm like, yeah, I think we should. So this is where they go and they wash the rest of the fucking Cowboys. They start hunting them down. So we get another montage clip of them hunting the last remaining Cowboys, and we get a little bit of we see Ike Clanton again, the guy always getting away.
Yeah,
so Ike Clanton's on a horse, and they're fucking chasing him down. And then you see the county sheriff is with them, right? And he's running fucking too. And then Ike fucking right, they're gonna shoot Ike. Like Wyatt pulls out his gun, he's gonna shoot Ike, and Ike takes off his sash and he fucking throws it back. I give up. And so they like kind of let it go, and they're like, all right, basically, they fucking killed all the Cowboys. And we get a shot now of a hospital ward.
Yeah, like an infirmary kind of shit.
Yeah, like an infirmary. And in the bed, all the way to the left, the last bed before you go up the stairs, Doc Holliday's laying down. And we get a shot of Kurt Russell, and he's walking towards that bed. So Wyatt Earp's walking towards the bed, and there's a priest there. And it looks like he's reading him the last rites.
Yeah.
He just looks at Wyatt. He's like, and then just walks away. And then Wyatt sits down. And Holliday's like, why are you here? I told you to stop coming here. You know, he's like, oh, well, I don't. He's like, you're the only person I can afford losing my money to.
Yeah.
He pulls out a deck of cards.
He's playing cards, man.
He starts playing cards with him. And this is like one of the most touching.
Sweet.
This is one of the most touching scenes.
Yeah,
he's playing here, and he's like,
it's a tearjerker.
He's like, I don't feel like playing anymore. He's like, what do you? I don't understand what you're doing here. He's like, if you ever considered me to be your friend, you'll leave.
Yeah,
and go live your life. You know,
go dancing with that girl.
Go dancing with that with that actress. You know, go live. You know, instead of wasting his time there with Doc. Right, and they have like a little moment between the two of them because they're like at this point they're like fucking like best friends, like family, you know.
They always were.
And well, because there's that one scene where one of the guys asked Doc Holliday, he's like, "Why are you doing all this? You know, why aren't you just laid up in bed?" He's like, "Wyatt Earp is my friend." And he's like, "Oh, I have plenty of friends." He's like, I don't. Yeah. Which tells you, like, this is like, Wyatt Earp is his ride or die.
Yep.
You know?
And it tells you a lot about Doc himself. Like, either there's a lot of people he doesn't consider a friend, but when he sees something like a good or true individual, that's who he's going to stick with no matter what.
Yeah. So he's sitting here and he's, you know, starting to tear up a little bit, and he's telling Wyatt to just go live his life, you know. Yeah. Doc's life is coming to an end, so you need to go live your life. And then Wyatt hands him something, like a little book. He's like, it's good seeing you, Doc. They're good to basically be friends with you.
Yeah.
And then he walks away. There's no more words there. And then there's a close-up shot of the book, and when he puts the book forward, it says, "My friend Doc Holliday."
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah, written by Wyatt Earp. And like I saw that, I was like, "Oh no!" He's all like, he's incredibly happy. I don't remember exactly what Doc Holliday says here at the end, but he looks down at his feet. He's not wearing his boots, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And that's kind of where
he just
passes. Yeah. You know, he kind of silently goes, and they do not a pan out shot, but a wide shot, and you know he's gone. He died alone.
Yeah,
in the infirmary. And then Wyatt goes to Josephine, and he goes to where she's acting. He's like, "I don't have anything else. I don't have any money. You know, like." He's like, the only
guy is this dick.
Like the one thing I can offer you is like, you know, happiness, and we'll always have a good time, you know. And she's like, "Don't worry, Wyatt. My parents are rich."
Yeah.
And so they go outside, and she's like, "What do you want to do?" He's like, "Why don't we do the thing you wanted to do the night we wanted to meet? Dance." So they start dancing.
Yeah.
It's snowing and whatnot, and that's when the narration comes back. And so they just cover a couple things. Like Ike Clanton died, and he died in I think it was a heist. He had a heist. He got held up and got shot. Yeah. Virgil was basically incapacitated, but still was a lawman. And then Wyatt Earp died in Los Angeles in 1920?
Something like that.
29.
Yeah.
1929. And then they were saying that there were some Hollywood actors that were the pallbearers at his funeral, and then one of them cried. I think it was like Tim. I can't remember his name. It was a Western actor, and a very famous Western actor that was very stern, apparently, but he shed a tear for Wyatt Earp. Oh, yeah. It was a funny thing to add to the narration at the end of the movie. So I thought that was kind of cool. But I mean, that's basically the outro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a quick little tidbit there, you know. So, when Wyatt was talking to Doc on the bed, Val Kilmer wanted to take it a little bit further. He wanted to make it seem like he was really dying, so he had them fill up underneath the bed with ice. So he was laying on a bed of ice to give him that extra
chill or something.
Yeah,
fuck, man,
fucking crazy.
That's crazy.
That guy's intense.
That's better than what Brando did in The Godfather.
Wow.
The scene where they're carrying him up the stairs, he put silver bars on the bed underneath the mattress on the gurney. So when they go to lift them, they knew how much he weighed. But then when they go to lift him, they couldn't lift him. They're like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, he just started laughing at them. That's a lot better than Brando was just a dick, dude.
That's awesome.
Well, there you go. That's damn, George. When it comes to storytelling, man, you're actually pretty good with the narration of it all.
I feel like I kind of botched this one a little bit.
I don't know.
I stumbled a little bit on this.
You probably did stumble, but I got to tell you, when you were saying what you were saying, and it seemed like you felt it in the heart, I was getting a little emotional.
We all do, man. When you can think back at that scene, it's like
especially that scene hurts.
Look, I got to tell you, that scene hurts. You guys definitely got to watch this movie. This is
Tombstone.
My favorite movie.
Tombstone is by far one of the best.
I think. I don't know what it is, dude. I get a little bit emotional because I think about like our friendship, George, like you and I. like that with that scene, and then in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as well, like the overall movie of it, and then especially at the end where like Brad Pitt's getting wheeled off in the ambulance, and he's like, "Hey, you're a good friend," and he's like, "I try,"
I try. I love that scene.
I know, right? That's crazy.
We should probably do a
Tarantino?
Tarantino's film soon.
We should. Man, have you seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Have you?
It doesn't necessarily be that one. We could do anyone. But we should definitely do a Tarantino movie film soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've seen them all, so. But yeah.
I don't think I haven't seen Jackie Brown.
I've seen.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I have that one on DVD.
The rest I have seen. So.
Yeah. But, yeah.
Which is crazy. I hear Jackie Brown's
I'm more than down
really
to do
good.
Tarantino movie. Hell, I'm more than down to do a back-to-back Tarantino movie.
If we do that, maybe we could do Kill Bill, because it's
Kill Bill
literally
and
two
Kill
movies.
Bill 2. But anyway, Tombstone.
Tombstone.
Give it a watch. It's fucking awesome.
This movie
So
holds
let's
up.
go and
Let's
rate
give
this movie.
Rate this motherfucker.
I love this movie so much. Me personally am gonna give this movie a 5. Emilio Estevez.
Second.
Third.
This movie deserves more, to be honest.
I'm going
The
5
amount of
Sam Elliott's.
What'd you say?
I'm going 5 Sam Elliott's.
Sam Elliott's.
I wish I want to do Kurt Russell, but I know Sam Elliott's a little bit older, so. Sam Elliott.
Nice.
Wait, Val Kilmer's still alive, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck it. 5 Val Kilmers. Cheers.
5 Val Kilmers. All right, I'll go with 5 Val Kilmers.
We can do that.
But we're gonna go 5 Val Kilmer, Doc Holliday. We're gonna put Holiday on this.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna put
He
Doc
definitely
Holliday.
deserves that freaking whole thing.
100%.
I
This
didn't- I didn't
movie's
specific- I
this
didn't
movie's amazing.
specific-
If you guys, even if you don't like westerns, this is an easy introductory to a western
Oh, yeah.
that you will enjoy. And the storytelling is great. The acting is phenomenal, and the action sequences are great. Like they don't cut any corners on this movie.
No,
This movie is fucking. This movie's A+ material from start to finish. So I mean, there's no reason for you not to watch this movie.
The only reason why I went Emilio Estevez and not Val Kilmer. You give me shit for putting people in the movie on the fucking thing every single time. So that's why I was going with Emilio Estevez, and I was going to go with Emilio Estevez
whatever.
from Young Guns. Emilio Estevez.
From Young Guns. Wow.
Mount up.
But yeah, definitely deserves a 5 all around for sure. This is definitely one of those movies where it will take you on a roller coaster of fun, action, and just emotions. Yep. It definitely has all the feels to it, and highly recommended for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, highly recommend. Also, recommend watching Val. I seriously suggest watching that documentary.
What's it on?
It's on Amazon.
I don't have that.
That's where he released it. He released it on Amazon.
Okay.
He basically documented his whole life. He even says in there, he's like, I'm the first person I ever knew to own a camera, like a video camera.
Really?
Yeah, and ever since he got one when he was a kid, a child. He was a child of the video camera.
Oh.
And you could see like all he did was he made movies with his brothers. Fucking great. And you get to see his life. Like he has thousands upon thousands of hours of footage.
Wow.
It's
I didn't know that about
dude,
him.
I like literally was gonna cry watching this fucking movie.
Well, like
It's
George
so
recommended, Val.
Watch
give
Val.
it a
We'll
shot.
put it in the notes.
Yeah, we'll put it in the notes.
We'll put it in the
description
notes.
around the link it up to your thingamabobbers. With
Yeah.
that, also like and subscribe. Give us a little shout out. Give us a little comment. Say what's up.
Helps the algorithm.
Try to get us another movie that we can get into or anything like that, or just shoot the shit with us like normally. Just we want to read some stuff from your guys' side of things. That way we can try to make this a little bit more fun and more exciting, however you guys feel like it. And we don't have a social media yet, but
It's coming soon.
What is our email?
It might be on here when this episode comes out. But if it is, I'll put it in the notes, the description. But you can reach us at nyec.gsc@gmail.com. You can suggest movies. You can just shoot the shit. Reach out. Let's watch some movies together.
Seriously, we're more
Watch
than
movies
excited
together.
too. So again, subscribe, hit that bell, give us that like, throw us a comment in there, say fuck you or something, whatever. We don't care. Just let us know what's up, okay? And as always, happy movie going.
Happy movie going.
And we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.